How do you know, CT? How do you know? Because God gave one man 5 talents. He gave another man 2 talents. And he gave the other man 1 talent. The one man with the low self-esteem went buried because he was afraid to fail. How do you operate being afraid to fail? Come on, somebody. You got to try something sometime. Come on, somebody. I failed to dunk a basketball, but that didn't stop me from playing anyway. Come on, somebody. I failed to do some things in life, but it didn't stop me. Because I wasn't going to allow defeat to define me. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, quit letting defeat define you. Watch this now. Defeat can't define me. Number 4, short-tempered, ready to jump to the defense. Come on, somebody. Somebody trying to tell you something to help you, but because you so easily offended, you don't want to hear what they say and you want to fall out. As a result of not, oh, come on, somebody. Don't you see that in choir rehearsals? Don't you see that in meetings where folk who don't really want to hear nothing will get short-tempered and be ready to cause trouble? Number 5. Watch it now. This is a big one. This is a big one. This is a big one. Quick to put someone else down to make themselves look more acceptable. The only time you feel good is when you can talk about somebody doing worse than you are. Come on, somebody. When you got low self-esteem, come on, somebody. You don't talk about nobody that you think above you. You start talking about somebody that ain't got nothing no more than you got. And that's the way of making yourself feel confident. That's the way of making yourself feel spiritual, because you can put down somebody else. Come on, somebody. That's not where you are. But the truth of the matter is, you're battling low self-esteem and don't even realize it. Number 6. Moody and emotional. Somebody with low self-esteem are some of the most moody and emotional. Have you ever had somebody trying to tell you a story, but before they can even finish telling you that one thing, they done spun off on something that hurt them in their past? And before you know it, you got a crying baby sitting right in front of you wondering what in the world just happened. You was telling me about TV show. How in the world did you get back on that thing that you know defeated? How in the world did your mind revert back to the place that hurt you the most? That's right. When you have low self-esteem, it comes out even when you try to control it. Number 7, secret jealousy among those who have a little bit more than you. Watch it now. When you got low self-esteem, you like to put down folks who seem like they got just a little bit more. Wait a minute, let me get this out. TD Jakes ain't did nothing to the small church. I can't get no amen. Creflo, Joel, Steen, they just doing their thing. But the small church has found it important to diss the big church. So rather than promote the whole body, we want to throw stones at those who got. How many of y'all girls went to a club and the girl ain't even say that to you, but because she had on some pretty shoes, the first thing you said, she thinks she got it better than that. She thinks it's all about her. Ooh, she makes me say, I don't like her no way. She ain't said nothing to you, but because you don't love yourself, you start hating on that. That woman shouting ain't said nothing to you. She falling down on the floor, that's her own business. But you got an attitude with her. That's how stuff started in church. This lady ain't said nothing to this lady, but you don't like her because she got a new hat on. She thinks it's all about her. She ain't said nothing. And the issue is not with her or her hat. The issue is with me not feeling good about myself. Because I don't feel good. Because I don't feel good about myself, I don't fellowship. Because I don't feel good about myself, I'm afraid to let my people fellowship with her. Because I don't feel good about myself, I want to put down the other preacher that got money. Because I don't feel good about myself. I'm talking about a sister that's trying to save souls just like I'm trying to save, because I don't believe in myself. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, free your mind. Number 8. Watch this man, watch this man. As a man, we disguise low self-esteem as cockiness or arrogant. So what we do is we go out and try to have multiple relationships to try to disguise the hurt in our lives. We think that one way of our image being better than everybody else's images is that if we get more relationships and have more girlfriends, then that means we're something. Have you ever understood that's why men can be 40, 50 years old and still bragging about getting women? Because they never dealt with the low self-esteem. That even if you just had one good woman, you done had all you. Low self-esteem, I'm arrogant, I'm cocky, I don't cry. I don't go through anything, but I'm disguising that in the inside there's a little boy still crying out, needing some attention. So man, rather than calling it low self-esteem, let's call it what it really is. Inferiority complex. Come on, let's call it what it is, man. An inferiority complex is that you compare yourself to somebody else. How many of you boys ever been playing basketball? And there was somebody who could play just a little bit better than you. And because he could play better than you, it made you afraid to be who you really were on the basketball court. Rather than shooting and going to the hole, all you want to do now is pass it to him because you're afraid that if you miss a shot, you ain't as good as he is, or you're not as better as he is. Inferiority complexes. Now watch now. In the state of life, men will grow out of an inferiority complex until he gets a job or a church duty and comes back up. So watch this now. Watch this. Now I'm a preacher, I'm a pastor, and my inferiority complexes has come back. Now I'm nobody unless I have a big church. I'm nobody unless I have 1,000 members because I see some of my other brother got it, and I got to get the same thing he has in order to say I'm successful. I got to get the job, I got to get the promotion. If I don't have these things, then I'm not as successful as somebody else. Inferiority complex. Now watch me. We grow up, and many times we can grow out of low self-esteem as we begin to establish ourselves. But as I was doing research, I was shocked to find out that there are more men committing suicide from low self-esteem than women. I was shocked. How could this happen? How could this be that women who are the emotional creatures are killing themselves 4 times less than men? My search proved that the reason why men are killing themselves from low self-esteem is because we invest so much in one thing. And when that one thing is gone, we feel life is gone too. So if he loses his job, he blows his brains out. If he gets a divorce, he blows his brains out. When women may just shut themselves up for a point in time, get back up and say, I'm on my way again. Men are killing themselves from low self-esteem. And 90% of adults wrestle with depression or low self-esteem issues. These seeds were first placed when they were either a child or a teenager. Why is a child so important? Because in his grooming as a child, you are defining who he is as a man. Y'all listen. So when you calling him dumb, when you calling him stupid, when you say he's getting on your nerves, you are creating a seed within a man. Come on, somebody. And so when he believes that he cannot do, it does not carry over and necessarily him being successful. It carries over him feeling defeated when he's young.
That's right.
When you don't take out the time to tell him, you're smart, I love you, I'm proud of you. Let's do some things together. What you're placing in him is seed of low self-esteem. Now watch it now. This low self-esteem seed will play out in his adulthood. Yes, how many women in here were never told you were beautiful by your father? Were never told that in fact, you went to school and folk told you was ugly, you was black, you was fat, you was this, you was that. And because you believe that about yourself, you got in a relationship just to make yourself feel like you were something. I can't hear no amen now.
That's right.
Because you didn't have that self-confidence in yourself, you went out and you just grab any old man and just say, I feel like I'm loved. I feel like I'm accepted. I feel like I'm somebody. But the whole time is that the child was abused. And the abused child makes up a hurtful man. Now because these seeds are never dealt with, watch this now, they take on actions. And they take on activities causing a person to make poor decisions that ends up devouring them. So watch now. Because Zach has that negative seed in his life, now he goes out and he acts out what's on the inside of him. He's now acting out I'm abused, I don't love myself, I don't feel good about myself. I'm acting it out now, watch this. And all his activities will cause him is more grief and more heartache. Yeah. Y'all ain't saying that. Let me break it down a little bit more to you. He's acting out now that he doesn't feel love. So he goes out and he gets different girls pregnant to make himself feel like he's a man. Now he done got all these girls pregnant, they done put child support on them. Now guess what?